All right, Mr. Teleferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? I did a video earlier today, and we were talking about Deandre Jordan and Wesley Mathews, and I told y'all straight up and down, the Knicks' decision to either keep Deandre Jordan and Wesley Mathews on their roster or buy them out will be contingent on, you know, if they can get to Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving's agents and ask them, do you want to play with Deandre Jordan? Do you want him as your big man? Do you want Wesley Mathews as your premier shooter? If you're Kyrie, do you want him in the backcourt with you? If these guys, if Kevin Durant and Kyrie want them, they're gonna keep these guys. If not, they're gonna let them go and buy them out because it's better for that. It's better for that, in my opinion. It's better for that New York Knicks team to just tank, right? You know, and get rid of these guys who are really good rotational guys. A lot of people still consider DeAndre Jordan a starter in this league, right? Get rid of these guys and tank for Zion. Now you got Zion coming in and possibly Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, or Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler. So to me, it's going to be an interesting next couple weeks. I believe the Knicks have until March 1 to make a decision on buying out Deandre and Wesley Mathews. So they got a little bit of time. They might even allow them to play a few games in that New York Knicks jersey and then decide to buy them out. Here's a side note real quick, though, before I tell you guys what's going on with Houston. Deandre Jordan is one of the more popular players in the NBA. He has a crap ton of friendships. So don't rule out the fact that Kevin Durant might want to play with a Deandre Jordan, or Kyrie might want to play with a Deandre Jordan. He's a guy that's really respected by his peers. Night in, night out, he goes and does a lot of the dirty work. And he's a super friendly dude off the court. And he's cool with a lot of these guys and kicks it with a lot of these guys in his off time. So don't rule out that the Knicks might have to hold on to this guy, you know, just in case they look at it as a marketing play. Remember, I want to throw this out there. Draymond Green was the guy that convinced Kevin Durant to, you know, initially to consider Golden State. Not Steph, not Clay. Just want to throw that out there. Now, let's kind of bring you up to date on how Houston fits into this mix. Here's the situation. The Houston Rockets will be making a move at the deadline. I promise you that. They will be an active team at the NBA trade deadline. It's just, what are they going to do, right? And what I have been told is that they are planning to make a play at Wesley Mathews and for sure DeAndre Jordan. Wesley Mathews is a maybe, but DeAndre Jordan is 100% going to happen. All right, that is 100% on the table for the Rockets. To me, it's like a 50-50 thing. I see how it makes sense. I see how it doesn't. Right now, Clint Capella, the Rockets center, is out with a thumb injury. In my opinion, he'll be back fine. I think he already has a return date in mind right after the All-Star weekend when he's going to return to the Rockets lineup. A thumb injury isn't a big deal. And Clint Capella hasn't had a long history of injuries, right? And most importantly, you just paid him a lot of money, right? So you want to play him as your starting center. That's a conflict. DeAndre Jordan, him and Clint Capella can't be on the court at the same time. So that would be DeAndre Jordan agreeing to come off the bench for that Rockets team, and he probably could be a starter in other situations, right? I was thinking about spacing with the Rockets. I just don't see how that will work with the style of basketball that they play. You pretty much need 3 or 4 shooters around James Harden, right? So he can be able to attack the rim and keep defenders honest. If guys really don't believe Harden can get to the rim because he doesn't have the space with Clint Capella and DeAndre Jordan down there, then guys are just going to play up on him and take away that jump shot. That jumper, he's already shooting like 10 threes a game over the last month. That's going to go up to 20 threes a game if he doesn't have that driving room. And by the way, he's not going to be efficient from the field shooting these threes. Let's make that clear. All right? He's not efficient now, let alone if he's shooting 8 to 10 more of them bad boys a game. So you can't play Capella and Jordan at the same time. But I know DeAndre will have interest in joining Houston. I believe he's from the Houston area or close to it. And remember, the Houston Rockets had interest in DeAndre Jordan when he was a Clipper a couple years ago. Now, here's another interesting tidbit with DeAndre Jordan. I don't believe him and Chris Paul have a bad relationship off the court. Remember, these two former Clippers, they played together. And to be honest with you, DeAndre Jordan fits the Rockets style a little more than Clint Capella does. Honestly, to me he's a better blocker than Clint Capella, a little more athletic than Clint Capella to me as well, and about the same rebound. And you can take their tit for tat, but again, you pay Clint Capella all that money, you'll get DeAndre Jordan for $2 million for the remainder of the season, but at a prorated rate, by the way. But let's be clear. There's no way you don't play Clint Capella unless you can trade him. Clint Capella's got to be your guy, man. You paid him all that money. You have to allow him to be the starter. And Deandre Jordan would just have to agree to come off the bench. And if he has starting opportunities, it pretty much winds down to what does Deandre want out of life? Does he want to try to contend for a championship and maybe be one of the missing pieces as the Rockets try to go back at Golden State this year? Or does he want to be a starter elsewhere? In Wesley Mathews' situation, I could see the Rockets going after him as well, just because, you know, they would like to have Eric Gordon come off that bench, right, and not have them play big-time minutes. But I'm going to be honest with you. When Chris Paul went down with that groin injury or that hamstring injury in the playoffs last year and their season went south, GM Daryl Morey is not going to allow that to happen again. There's a report out there that Chris Paul won't be able to play back-to-backs for the remainder of the regular season. They're not going to allow this to happen again. They're not going to allow Chris Paul to ruin their season again with injuries. They're going to go after guard play. They would prefer to have another point guard to get the ball out of James Harden's hands. But there's not a lot of point guards on the market. So if the Rockets make a move for a guard, it could be a shooting guard and you make James Harden play point guard. But the difference is with a guy like Wesley Mathews, he's a knockdown shooter and he will be available to knock down three-pointers at will in the playoffs. If they're doubling James Harden, if he has it going, and you know Clay's got to hop to the top of the key to guard James Harden, and now Wesley Mathews has Steph guarding him. So we'll see what happens. I would prefer a slasher at the two to put some pressure on Steph. That's just my preference, but we'll see what the Rockets do. They will be aggressive at the trade deadline, and Deandre Jordan's going to be one of the first phone calls they make if the New York Knicks decide to buy him and Wesley Mathews out. Keep you guys up to date on this story and more. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. They are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Telefair.
Mr. Telefair.
Mr. Telefair.
Mr. Telefair.
Shout out to Mr. Telefair.
You're watching Mr. Telefair TV.
Mr. Telefair TV. Here with the Triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.